joining Book Reviews with Parisa, where I share my latest book reviews and more. You'll definitely get great book reviews and recommendations. Subscribe to my channel for weekly book reviews and turn the notification on. And follow me on Instagram at Books with Parisa. This week's book review is Pilgrim by Tinker Creek. It has 304 pages and it's by Annie Dillard. It's nonfiction, memoir, and kind of has essays. This book got a Pulitzer Prize in 1975 and it was published in 1974. To describe this book, I would say it is an in-depth description of the nature world, and it's kind of like an observation into the world. And in my personal opinion, I think it was a little too in-depth and detailed for my taste. The minutiae was a bit much for my taste and it kind of bogged me down. There was too much wildlife. The book is very dense and heavy on philosophy. It's really not a page turner. And I found that the book did not really have a plot. It was just random stories on nature. It was long, it was tedious, and it took me so long to finish. The plus point is that it was meditative and it was very poetic. There are many animals and insects that are discussed in a very artistic and poetic way, such as dragonflies and monarch butterflies and muskrats. So it was a great book, but I felt like it was like a biology book. Something interesting that I did gain from this book was the story of the praying mantis and how in nature things are not done in a sane way. So naturally it's okay to be sane, and human beings try to make nature sane. So that was a great philosophical take on how in nature a female devours her mate and it is acceptable. But if it's done in the real world with human beings, it's not okay, and human beings would be punished for that act. That was a great philosophical theory and observation that I enjoyed reading. The level of concentration for this book, 1 through 10, 10 being the most, I'd say it's 8. It's definitely not an easy read. It's dense, and the reading difficulty and concept from, again, 1 to 10, I would give it a 7 because the concept is hard to grasp and it kind of just rambles on. In my opinion, I would give this book 2 stars. And the reason being is I have elements to rate books. Was the book engaging and mesmerizing, and was I enthralled? Not really. Was the story creative and ingenious? I didn't really think so. Number 3, were the characters well developed? You could say that the insects were talked about in depth. And number 4, was it descriptive and beautiful? Yes, it was descriptive. Number 5, was it meaningful? It was okay. Would I read this book again? Absolutely not. Would I recommend this book? The answer to this question would be yes and no. It depends on what the reader is looking for. If someone is looking for a fast read and something extremely entertaining and quick, I would say no, don't read this book. But if someone is looking for a dense philosophical book and is a nature lover, I would say read this book with a disclaimer. Other books by this author are many. She has written The Maytrees. She has written For the Time Being, Mornings Like This, The Living, The Writing Life, and more. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and turn your notifications on. And also follow me on Books with Parisa on Instagram. Happy reading!